Madam Chairwoman Capito and Ranking Member Carper, and members of this committee. I am grateful for your time this afternoon and our shared commitment to protecting our environment, our communities, and our economy. I've dedicated my career to public service, and I appreciate the opportunity to highlight my qualifications and my passion for environmental stewardship, public health, and economic prosperity. I want to thank Senator Burr and Senator Tillis for their kind words and very strong introduction. I want to thank President Biden for nominating me and trusting me to lead this important agency during a vital time in our nation's history. And again, I want to especially thank my wonderful and beautiful wife, Melvina, whom I'm blessed to have as a partner in life as we navigate life together, my son, Matthew, who I'm extremely proud of and consider it a privilege to be his dad. Together, we prayed as a family before I accepted this nomination, and we're so proud to take on this assignment. I am grateful for their support. For the last 4 years, I have proudly served as the Secretary of the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, working to provide all North Carolinians with cleaner air and cleaner water while nurturing our state's economy. I fell in love with the outdoors growing up in eastern North Carolina, hunting and fishing with my father and grandfather. Those beautiful waters and those lands are legacies that they were proud to share with me, but they also taught me that protecting them was my responsibility as well. Like millions of Americans living in rural communities, preserving our natural resources isn't something just to balance with the economy. It's essential for economic growth, along with protecting public health and our way of life. Careful stewardship of the environment is more than just passing down traditions to the next generation. It's about learning from the past and being prepared to combat the challenges that our future generations will face. Both of my parents were dedicated public servants. My mother, a nurse for close to 30 years, the best nurse in Wayne County. My father served his country in Vietnam, worked for the North Carolina Agricultural and Extension Service for years, and ultimately retired as a colonel with the North Carolina National Guard. So obviously, after graduating from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University with a degree in environmental science, I knew I wanted to find a way to serve. And that led to my first summer internship at EPA. I spent nearly 10 years at EPA under presidents of both parties, and it's an honor of a lifetime to be invited back. Throughout my career, I've learned if you want to address complex challenges, you must be able to see them from all sides, and you must be willing to put yourself in other people's shoes. The best way to do that is by convening stakeholders where they live, where they work, and where they serve. Fostering an open dialogue rooted in the respect for science, a clear understanding of the law, and a commitment to building consensus with pragmatic solutions. I've also learned that we can't simply regulate our way out of every problem we face. This approach has proven to be effective as my tenure as Secretary of DEQ. We've tackled the adverse impacts of hog farms, cleaned up toxic PFAS pollution in our rivers, and reached the largest coal ash settlement in U.S. history. I will never forget looking into the eyes of Amy Brown, the mother of 2 boys, as she told me she had not let her sons play in the bathtub or in the pool in the backyard for years because they were required to live on bottled water after the Dan River coal ash spill. That night, as I gave my son Matthew his bath with fresh tap water, I vowed that this story would have a happier ending for Amy Brown and her 2 sons. And we did just that by following the science, following the law, bringing industries together with the impacted communities, not as adversaries, but as stakeholders working together for real solutions. In North Carolina, we're moving beyond the old argument that we have to pit creating jobs against protecting the environment. We've demonstrated that you can do that from the North Carolina mountains to the old North States coast. President Biden has said confronting climate change presents an unprecedented economic and jobs opportunity. In North Carolina, we've seized that opportunity, partnering with private sectors to provide opportunities and regulatory certainty, and harnessing our strength in manufacturing, innovation, and research, which has resulted in the creation of tens of thousands of new jobs in North Carolina. And if confirmed, I will work with the entire administration to build and strengthen that partnership to power America's economy with cleaner energy and create millions of good-paying middle-class jobs. Our priorities for the environment are clear. We will restore the role of science and transparency at EPA. We will support the dedicated and talented career officials. We will move with a sense of urgency on climate change, and we will stand up for environmental justice and equity. And we will do that in a collaborative manner, in partnership with state and local governments who know their own communities better than the federal government ever could. We'll work transparently and responsibly with industries eager to establish clear, consistent rules of engagement. And we will engage working Americans whose voices have been absent from these conversations about our environment for far too long. And last but not least, we will work to do this in partnership with Congress, leveraging your expertise and concerns for your constituents as we build healthier communities through environmental stewardship and economic growth. We all have a stake in the health of our environment, the strength of our economy, the well-being of our communities, and the legacy that we will leave the next generation in the form of the nation's natural resources. And while those values may not unite us on every single policy question, I think it's a solid foundation for a successful partnership. I look forward to building on that foundation with you if confirmed, and I look forward to answering any questions that you might have for me today. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary.